Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor. On behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation, thank you to Alaska Public Media for sponsoring this program. We are glad you could join us this evening, where we are happy to have Millicent Hoidal back on the program. She is going to be talking to us about a recently released safety alert from the NTSB. She is an aviation accident investigator with the National Transportation Safety Board. Welcome back, Millicent.
Thank you, Mary.
On our last show, we talked about the safety alert that was recently issued by the NTSB. It's called See and Be Seen. Your life depends on it. One of the sessions of a safety alert describes what pilots can do. Can you tell us some of the recommendations that the pilots can follow to see and be seen?
Well, having a good scan is important, and it's one of those basic flying skills that you really have to practice, or you forget about it, or you get task-oriented doing other things. So being vigilant and keeping on your scan is something that you really need to practice, and the best way that you're going to see other traffic that could pose a conflict for you.
So that's what pilots can do. What can passengers do?
Well, passengers are always looking out the window, which is one of the great things about being a passenger here in Alaska, is you can see all the beautiful scenery. But passengers should feel empowered that if they see another airplane or they see traffic or anything else that could pose a hazard to their flight, to speak up. If they see something, to say something to the pilot, to make sure that the pilot has seen this other airplane instead of just assuming that the pilot saw it.
So passengers can be very helpful, not just as passengers to keep a pilot entertained and give them somebody to talk to, but they can also be another set of eyes or several sets of eyes.
Absolutely.
So we talked about it a little bit on our last show, but one of the related accidents that was listed in the safety alert was an instructional flight. So you were a flight instructor. Do you have any tips to help students and instructors avoid midair collisions?
Well, I know as my time flight instructing that it is a very busy time in the airplane. It's busy for the student in that there's a whole lot of information they're trying to learn and things they're trying to accomplish, and the same for the instructor, making sure that they do all these things safely. I would suggest making sure that who's going to be looking for traffic is part of your pre-flight briefing. And then in the airplane, if someone sees traffic, to communicate that to the other pilot, to make sure that you're both seeing the same traffic in the same place, to maintain that situational awareness of what's going on around you.
So if a student or a passenger saw something, but maybe it was during a critical phase of flight, or if the other person is flying or talking on the radio, it would be appropriate to point at traffic instead of just saying something?
Absolutely. There's a lot that can be communicated without a verbal communication. And I think that it's certainly in those critical phases of flight, the other person is going to be aware of what you're doing and cognizant of what's going on.
Okay. So with all the new avionics and the navigation equipment and even iPads that are being used in aircraft nowadays, they have some pretty amazing displays that can really challenge pilots not to focus or even fixate on equipment that's inside the airplane. Do you have any advice that would help pilots to maintain that appropriate scan time between inside and outside the airplane?
That goes back to practice and discipline. Personal electronic devices are wonderful. They can add a lot of safety features to your airplane with weather and maps and tracking where you are. But there's nothing that replaces looking outside the airplane and seeing what's in front of you. So remembering that while those things can help you, they're not there to do the flight for you.
And in talking about things that you can see, one of the recommendations in the safety alert was using lights on aircraft. Do you have a recommendation for any one type of lights over another?
There's technology has come so far with lighting just in the recent years. So there's a variety of options for many different budgets, whether it's replacing the type of bulbs or replacing the entire light system in your airplane, or just a new landing light. There's lots of different options for what may work for each pilot, but really making sure that they're on, using everything that you can to your ability for not only for you to see, but for people to see you.
And if people, passengers or pilots, would like to find out more about seeing and being seen, where could they go?
There's a lot of training out there available. See and Avoid is a great website, and like I said, the NTSB has lots of safety alerts available, and AOPA, there's a vast amount of education available to pilots.
Great. Thank you so much, Millicent. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Mary.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy this program, I encourage you to become a member of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate you tuning in to Hangar Flying. Until next time, thank you for your support, and fly safely.